Hello, everybody, and it is that panda guy. And today, well, we are going to be looking at this footage where I guess I had rallied, I think, 10 plus times, and you guys are going to be seeing 3 times sped up footage and a little bit cut out. So I think this is over like the period of an hour. I just kept setting rallies. And honestly, I was just trying to milk kills. It was like a cow to me, I just wanted to get a bunch of kills because you guys are probably gonna see it shortly, but basically in these reports, during the swarms, we would lose. I would at least say 1 to 4, 1 to 6 trades. Like the trades were pretty bad for most of the players. I didn't really care about how our rally did, honestly, against the tower. And you guys are gonna see this constantly, but I'm gonna be checking the rally to kind of check like how many troops are in it. Because honestly, I didn't care about taking field control like I normally do. And I actually wasn't able to keep it full a lot because, you know, it's pretty hard when your rally is getting swarmed this hard and we aren't actually trying to keep field control. So I basically would cancel the rally when it hit either 1 million troops or 800,000 troops because that was like, I didn't want to take too bad of trades because, of course, the lower the rally gets, the worse the trades get. And obviously, I'm not trying to take extremely bad trades. And you also are going to see soon, I'm going to basically try to do Maya Lewis rallies to see how the AoE works, but I decided overall it was probably better and just in general for like a swarm to run Tom and a Dut. And I will say, guys, that I actually want to start trying infantry rallies with a Dut and Tom. Of course, swap them around, right? But my Dut actually wasn't like high enough level for me to feel like I should replace her in Tom's spot. But I do think her talent tree is more built for it, and I do think that a Dut will be insane as an infantry rallier with maybe Tom as her support just for like the heal ability and all that. But I think it's gonna be pretty good, especially with her like berserk like ability where she gets stronger the longer she battles to a certain period. And honestly, guys, it probably wasn't the smartest to do this, but I did think it was kill efficient. And I will say, a lot of the people who swarm the rally, if you're not going to notice, some of them actually get a ton of deads during the swarms. Like I noticed in some of these swarms, they'd get like a few 100,000 dead, like their hospitals would fill. And it was just disgusting. I just, it was actually an ouch for me to do it. But honestly, I was so close to 100 million kills, and I decided I'm just gonna keep running these rallies. I don't care. The trades were good, and I really wanted points. And also, I had 2 of my accounts that didn't hit the point requirement. And if you guys don't know, there's like a point thing, and what happens is you can actually get yeah, okay, so you can get rewards once you hit a certain criteria on your points or like a certain point value, which was, pretty nice. And I wanted to get like the rewards for that. So I battled it out and, I thought the kills were nice. And it's also hard and sometimes to actually get like as good trades as I did on the field. So I did think for my alts at least that this would be pretty good kills. And it was just like a kill farm. I did want to see how the AoE worked with Maya and Lewis. And I will say it did all right. The damage output was still pretty nice, but I thought that it would be better with the Tom and a Dut duo just because like Tom's healing and stuff would keep my rally up longer, and also I just needed a tanky rally to kind of live it through at least a little bit longer. I felt like the trades were just about the same on both of them, so I decided to keep running Tom. I will also say that I was a lot lower in ranged troops because I was running a lot more ranged rallies earlier, and I'll show you guys in a separate video, but basically we were hitting a lot of bases with ranged rallies and all that, and I had been running lower on ranged troops compared to infantry, so it was better off for me to actually just fight with infantry troops over range, but this was pretty insane though. You guys see how big the swarm is. I'll say a lot of these people just don't match up to the technology and stuff. And that's like a big reason. Like even if you have mass and numbers, it's not really worth it if the people aren't like, around the same size. Because honestly, I sent off the first rally with the thought of this. I don't care about field control. I don't care what happens because, generally you guys are going to see me take field control if I really, really, really think I need it. And in this case, I probably did need it, but I didn't care about it. And I will kind of like give an explanation. So, Arkham here only has, I think, 2 players who would take maybe positive or close to positive trades on a rally swarm, right? And my thought process was if these 2 are beating on it alone, basically I could keep it full, right? Like I could easily keep that full. And in the case of this, it was actually way harder than, not to keep this rally full because of course I actually didn't have a lot of my own members on at the time. And a lot of this was just my alternate accounts keeping this rally like topped off. And I will say, of course, we had like Impushy and all them, but I don't think they were doing a good job at actually reinforcing the rally more than just fighting on the field. And that was kind of like a big issue I noticed. But obviously, I just thought if it was like those two players who would beat on the rally, their trades would be more even, and then I could still just take good trades on the tower. And I also don't know if you guys will notice, but I do take a lot of good trades on the tower. And the only reason the numbers get so high is because of the swarm. So you have to count in all the troops hitting from the sides. But most of these rallies were positive trades. And if it is like negative trades in the reports, it's generally due to the fact that, I'm like losing my words. It's generally due to the fact that the rally got swarmed so low to where the fact it was, the part where it's taking bad trades. I also want to point out that like when I'm sending ranged rallies, it actually is really hard for these guys to counter because honestly, I don't think they're good garrison heroes for riders, right? So in the case of range, it's just a really rough situation, and the fact that I'm sending these range rallies are actually probably more troublesome to the garrison than if I sent infantry, and that's something I probably could have thought about. You also will notice, I also want to kind of mention the fact that, when defending, you're at much more of an advantageous, situation. Like I say it all the time, but I think it's really advantageous when you're defending, especially in a case like this, because like the fact that you can constantly change who's garrison captain to counter who the rally is. I also want to say that I noticed that these guys had, I think, the new rider hero as a support to their Lee, which made almost actually absolutely no sense. Like that, I don't know why they had a Lewis running and then the rider hero, right? I don't think in this case, yeah, they have Tom here, but I saw like in a lot of instances where like they had the rider hero. It was just really confusing to me. I will say that I also don't know, like, if these guys were keeping the flag full, I'm actually pretty certain that a lot of these might not have been, ranged troops, whereas, like, it might have been riders, it might have been infantry, or whatever it might have been. But the case is, the garrison captain on this flag is a ranged hero, so it's, to everybody's, it's best if they could keep range in here, but if they can't, they can only do their best to fill. I don't know if you guys are looking at these reports, by the way, but if you guys don't see the amount of deads and even just injures, like that is crazy. Like imagine the hospital bills these guys were going through. I mean, of course, it was still pretty bad for us to heal, but like this is disgusting. And I definitely I enjoyed these rallies. I wanted those kills, and I was a hungry animal right here. I'll also say I didn't expect this much firepower because, these guys, I thought they were burnt out way earlier in the event. And, obviously it was later in the event. I think it was maybe one day to the last day. And I just wanted to take out this tower. And honestly, at some point, I think I ended up maybe trying to go for field control. Actually, no, I didn't. I was actually really close. Like if I had to send one more rally than I actually did without it, being swarmed, I actually was going to kind of actually have to take field control. I also want to mention that I was tired, and that's one big reason I just didn't want to do it. I've been controlling my account for, I don't know, 4 or 5 days at this point, or just like, I don't know, a few days, right? And I was exhausted. I just wanted to set these rallies and I didn't want to control them. Not at the time, I was so tired. And it was just not in my head. I just didn't want to do it. Like that's as simple as it is. I was trying to get little accounts to slither in here to keep these things alive just a little bit longer, to kind of force a longer swarm. I didn't think that they maintain, as much of a swarm as they did, especially with the trades they were taking. And just I couldn't imagine them healing as much as they did. I feel like the amount of resources they burnt through was just phenomenal here. I also say I ended up having a gym through my hospital, but it was kind of worth it. I wanted this video, I wanted the video footage for you guys. I thought this was pretty just entertaining, and I think you guys will enjoy this video. I should be uploading it after my pump by. Maybe I'm trying to do this video tonight, but I might not upload it right now. I might upload it tomorrow. I don't know. But I did a pump by earlier, so if I hold true to my word, it should be tonight with it. It is pretty late, so I don't know if anybody really cares to watch this, but oh, look at these traits guys. Like you do not want to be swarming this rally with even a low hospital, and even if you are, like even if your hospital's low, I would not send 5 marches in if you're like generally much weaker than the rally leader, because obviously the people swarming this are most of them are like way weaker, and my technology, of course, is like just way more advanced. Everybody joining my rally, of course, is gonna be having just way better tech. Like they're gonna be having the same tech as me in a sense, right? I also don't know where these deads are coming from. I think someone's hospital filled just like slightly, and they started getting deads, but thankfully it wasn't much. It looked like only like 1,000 on our side from the swarms. We did take pretty bad trades on a lot of these rallies, though. I mean, in the last rally, we took insanely good trades because they weren't able to keep, the flag full. And even if they did, it didn't seem like they were keeping it full with the right troops in that case, So they were taking for like 1 to 2 trades, 1 to 3 trades. And you guys are going to see this a lot. Even in this case of the rally getting swarmed down, we were taking like pretty positive and even trades, with like, of course it was only a few troops hitting the rally, but you kind of could see here that these guys were losing field presence. And I think I just had my members over here fighting. And like I said, I didn't care about field control. I don't care what they were doing on the field. I don't know if they actually wanted field control, if they just wanted kills, but that was all up to them. I will say I did have a good time this island, and my freaking eyes are burning. So I hope you guys don't hear me rubbing on my eyes the whole video. I'm trying to keep it entertaining. I'm kind of trying to keep talking, but I kind of don't know what to talk about when I start explaining everything, especially once I get to like the later details. I will say a lot of these people swarming right now are either weak or they're sending bad heroes, because I see Liam in there. Like, dude, I don't know why they swarm this. Like if you don't have similar tech to the rally leader, this is just reckless. And I mean, I get they were trying to defend the flag and trying to exhaust us, but I mean, they're just completely exhausting themselves for the next. I don't even know. Like this is just terrible. There was no sense in swarming. Maybe they wanted a last hurrah, but I mean, we were able to obviously keep going for 10 plus rallies, and they ended up getting exhausted. And honestly, after we ended up taking this flag down, I was 100% sure that there would be no resistance. Because I mean, imagine these hospital bills, dude. This is, I don't know. I feel like they at least burned through 5 million, maybe more. It had to be more in this like period, because I feel like every rally gave at least 1 million plus kills. Of course, it was spread out between the people who were, reinforcing it, but I feel like this was maybe at least 10 million kills. And of course, all of them aren't actually, I wouldn't even say 10 million. Maybe like 8 million. And I will say, of course, all of the rallies aren't getting swarmed down, so the trades are kind of different depending on every situation, but yikes. I do think we get our first burn right here, by the way, because you guys kind of see the lack of field presence. And I actually have my Bing account over here running around that, or I don't know if that's me. That's actually Atrax. He was trying to get in the rally, but the rally was still full. But you guys kind of see the trades here. Of course, there's that one thing hitting it, but you kind of see like the trades are more even here. I don't know how I feel about the Bella as the secondary. Like I don't know if that was for the melt ability. I mean, yeah, I don't know what Bella was doing here, right? I definitely think they needed Tom at least. I feel like for a range defense, it's really tough. And it's the same for riders. I feel like for a range defense, you don't get like a lot of options as a secondary to Lewis. I feel like Lewis is of course a good, defensive Garrison captain, but I don't really think there are kind of secondary options to make like a double range. I don't know if you guys get what I'm saying, but you kind of are forced to choose between like Lewis and Tom and Lewis, Tom and maybe like Peterson now, Tom and Rager. I feel like there's a lot more options for infantry players or infantry heroes, whereas like for even riders, you can't really do much because I mean there are no good rider garrisons at all. Like I would never defend in my life with a rider garrison captain. Like I don't know. I mean, unless I felt like I had insane rider heroes and it was to directly counter the person rallying, and I didn't think that the thing would get swarmed down. Because I also want to mention when you're kind of thinking about like using a rider hero as a garrison captain, a lot of these aren't like, for example, Lewis has AoE, right? Tom and Raygro both have counter attack damage, all this type of stuff. You don't have that kind of stuff for I don't know, you don't have that kind of stuff for these other heroes. So it's not really as worth it. It's just I don't know. You don't really have something to counter a swarm when you're using rider heroes, even if rider heroes are a good option in that case. Also, Phase Rug was FaZe was over here hitting the Garrison. I don't even know what he was thinking. This dude had no regard for his troops. And you know what? It's good to have players like that sometimes who just don't care. Like they don't care about losing troops or anything. You gotta also take note of Atrex's troops right here. He was right in the AoE line of damage, right? This dude was taking a lot more deads than he should have been. He should have kept his marches out of kind of AoE zone. And I think he kind of noticed right at the end there and he started like waddling off. But yeah, that was really bad. That was really bad what he was doing. And I just, yikes. I do think we run one more rally after this, and just to make sure that the tower keeps burning. But we did do a good job, I think, and I think the trades were pretty good, and this was pretty good just video footage. You know, you guys enjoy this. It was like 1 to 2 and 1 to 3 trades at this point. And honestly, I feel like Tom is more of a endurance hero. He's not really a DPS. So in the case of rallying this tower, if we wanted to drop it really fast, we of course probably should have sent, you know, a better hero for that in that case. And we also were getting countered by Lewis. So the trades are pretty surprising when you consider it. You know, we are kind of getting countered. And I mean, I got to say, like I said earlier, I think their issue was that they actually were sending. Oh, look at that. Look at that rally. They were sending the wrong troops, right? I feel like they were sending a lot of maybe riders, a lot of infantry for a garrison that is specifically for range. And I mean, we'll say, like, in the case of using Lewis and Tom, infantry does somewhat work there for the fact that you do have Tom's skills kind of buffing infantry. But in the case of, like, riders or anything, I wouldn't send riders to garrison in this case. But I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I'm just blabbing on a lot. And you guys see me setting my next rally after freaking melting all my troops. Also, I'm at 90 million might here. I lost almost 10 million during this event. I will say I think I after the event I got back to 97 million might, maybe 98 million. So I didn't lose a lot, especially with the returns. But I freaking burnt out so many troops. Even my alts, a lot of them dropped from 60 million might down to like 55 million, 57 million. I was just trying to get kills. You know, I'm a hungry guy and I wanted to maximize my content. I also swarmed a lot of bases, so I will be putting that in a different video or 2 or 3, whatever it might take. But yeah, I think you guys kind of see here, they lost their field presence. I think they just lost the ability to keep healing. And this rally report right here was kind of disgusting. They like took really bad trades. And I want to keep emphasizing the fact that they are getting countered here. And I also don't know why they have Lewis and Catherine. You know, like, why do you have Catherine here? I mean, maybe it's for the fact of skill damage, but it just was. I don't think that was a good option. I feel like Tom is definitely needed here, especially when they're lacking the reinforcements to keep this thing full. They needed to keep that heal ability up, or they all just I don't know. After like taking decent trades on the previous rallies, I would have just given up the garrison, right? I would have just said, GG, we took the best of trades as possible, and we're getting out of here. But that is the end of the video, so I do hope you guys enjoyed, and I do thank you guys for watching, and peace out, and maybe you guys will see me in another video.